I've been around the rugby world for most of my life. Younger kid, watching most every test, playing on most every weekend, again, winter time. And as I've grown, then that's obviously translated and grown, morphed, engaged with a lot more different people around the world. And you see the All Blacks have an impact in the lives of those. It's not it's the All Blacks. It's love or loathe, elevate or downplay, revere or revile. It tends to be one or the other. It's not neutral. It's not a neutral type of response. And that's obviously reflective of who the All Blacks are, what they've meant to the world of rugby, what they've meant to the world of sport, what they've meant to culture. I remember the joke used to be, and it still is, I mean, Eddie Jones played on it, the fact that when the All Blacks lose, then people's lives fall apart to a lesser or greater degree in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And that's a little bit of an overstatement. It's a little bit patronising about us in this land because, yes, while the All Blacks are significant and important, then they're certainly not the be-all and end-all, like our identity is somehow wrapped entirely within their frame. That's overstating the reality. There's a quote I read recently, and it encouraged me to think about how the All Blacks fit in a world of rugby's aspiration, or the rugby world's aspiration, or the culture surrounding. The quote was from David Walsh of the Sunday Times. He says, "Rugby will be a better game played the way the All Blacks now wish to play." I'm looking down reading the quote. I'll do it again. "Rugby will be a better game played the way the All Blacks now wish to play." This is on allblacks.com. And I think David Walsh was talking about Will Jordan and how his style and his gifts translate onto a rugby field. Where do you stand on the All Blacks? Are they your sporting schadenfreude? If there's one team you don't want to win Rugby World Cup, is it the All Blacks? And if it is, do you know why? It's interesting how we have these maybe positively or negatively. For me, aspiration, I think about that context, and I think Tiger Woods. I used to watch him and just hope that he would come through. It was really interesting to sort of observe, whether it was a tournament or a shot. It was like, he's going to do it. And he invariably did do it, and that was a positive. And of course, if you weren't a Tiger Woods fan, then maybe it was not again. Now, I'm sure the All Blacks have that type of impact for those around the watching world. But do you believe that aspiration is a good one? Do you want the rugby world to... It's interesting, because they're making the All Blacks a reference point. You may be thinking, why are the All Blacks a reference point? That underscores the very problem I don't like about this video, or I don't like about this subject. And that, I guess, illuminates or illustrates what I'm trying to highlight, is how the All Blacks in a rugby orbit influence that orbit and speak to that orbit and influence and impact those who are connected, which is the fans. Where do the All Blacks sit with you? If there is one team you don't want to win Rugby World Cup 2023, is it the All Blacks? And why is that the case? The marketing, the myth, the legends, the discussion, all these things, is it over the top? Has it become too much to handle? What do you think? If this is your first video, or if it's not your first video, I'd encourage you to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already to this channel. That would be wonderful. And hopefully you can see that we don't just talk All Blacks rugby here, even though they have been an important part of my own journey, not just as a young child, but as I've grown, and even in a rugby media world. So please like, share, and subscribe. That would be wonderful. And as the sun's shining into my world, I trust there is plenty of sun into your world too. Another video will no doubt be on the way soon, so please stay tuned. Until next time.